I would like to explore the city, showered, well dressed, looking good, smelling good. I'm gonna give you the tea on what Contiki is really like. This is gonna be really juicy. So if I were you, I would sit back, grab a snack, and enjoy the show. Okay, let's go. Hey guys, it's Kimmy D here. I know the holidays is coming up. Everybody wants to go on vacation. But before I jump on this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. I have a lot of advice on if you actually want to decide to go to Contiki, because you know the thing about going to a travel company like Contiki, it's not like solo travel. It's not like traveling with your family. This is very, very different. If you would like to see a part 2 to this video, if you would like to see tips and advice to this video, leave a comment down below, share it with a friend, and a friend, and a friend. And if I get 50 likes on this video, I will make a part 2. So Contiki is basically a travel company for people ages 18 to 35, I believe. And it basically is a travel company that puts together everything for you. So I think it's really good if you are somebody who's never traveled internationally before, like I was, and like you have no idea on how to put a trip together. You have zero clue. Like you want to go to Europe, you want to have a good time, but you don't know anything about accommodation. So basically it puts everything together for you. It puts together your accommodations, your transportations, the people you're gonna go with. You have a trip manager, you have a bus driver. So those are the people who are there with you on the trip. I think it's perfect to get your feet wet. You could come together as a couple, you could come together as a group of friends, you could come together as siblings. You don't have to be a solo traveler. I decided to travel solo because everybody I knew didn't want to travel internationally, like they were just afraid or they didn't have time, and I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna miss out on life for other people. So I decided to travel alone. So as someone who's never had to book hotels and stuff in a foreign country and like figure stuff out, I was happy to have people who put together all that. Now they didn't put together every little single thing, and I'm gonna get to those details later. Like 80% Australian. I might trip on the Bobby. Let me stop my bad Australian impression. And like about 10% New Zealand, 5% South African, about 1% Singapore, and like 2% American. Even though they say it's from age to 18 to 35, in my experience, most of the people were late teens to early 20s. The other point, I felt like the vibe of the trip was kind of like, it reminded me of high school almost. Like kind of like, it just had this high school kind of energy, like this, not with everybody, but I witnessed like little petty dramas and stuff like that. I was like, I'm too grown for this. Come on, like you're in Europe, enjoy yourself, you know what I mean? So like I went for 2 weeks. So one thing I really liked about this trip is that when we were on the bus, our trip manager, he was very like entertaining. Like when we went to each city, he would basically give us a brief history about the specific city that we would go in. We would have like a trip page, I think it was called Day Trip, and then it would tell us like, okay, this is what we're gonna do today, we're gonna do this and that, we're gonna get off here, we're gonna, you know, just give a day trip to say what we're gonna do on that day. And we had music on the bus, and we had the music that I liked. One thing I really didn't like about the bus is Contiki cough. Like you could Google that anywhere. Like Contiki cough is so real, and like, you know, I did research that before I went and I heard it, but you know, I didn't really take it seriously. Like I was like, oh, Contiki cough. Like, okay, when you're on vacation, it is possible to get sick. Like whether you're solo traveling, whether you're traveling with your family. Well, someone told me that the air is like recycled air on the bus. In a sense, we're all breathing in our air and our germs. And you know, when you're traveling, like it's so easy to get sick. Like I came home with a super annoying cough, and I think I spent like a couple of my last days with the cough, and I just felt sick. There was one night when I was sleeping and I really couldn't breathe right, and thank God, like my roommate, she had like cold and flu medicine, which I didn't have, and like she gave me some and I felt better. But I still, like, I had trouble breathing at night, like because it got that bad. My cough was really, like, even when I came home, like it took a good 2 weeks. It took a good 2 to 3 weeks to get over that. Like I never had a cough so strong like that. I figured out through going to this trip about myself is that I like to take my time when I go on vacation. Like spend one day in Paris and one day in Rome and one day in Florence. I just think that's not enough time. That's not enough time to like see the city and really go. One of my friends on the trip, he described it as like little trailers of each city. You get to step in and look at the country and then go back, and then when you go home, you can pick your favorite city and then plan to go there alone or something. Like, one thing I didn't like about the trip is that like you're on the bus all the time. And yes, they did say you're on the bus all the time, but like I guess I didn't really think it through. First couple of days, like, it was okay, but when you're on the bus like for 2 weeks, like sometimes, like, I know they say you have 14 days jam-packed with lots of fun, but a lot of those hours are spent on the bus, honestly. Like, I remember one time we went to a certain city in Italy, and I think it was Florence, I'm not too sure, but I was looking like rough, okay, because it was towards the middle of the trip. We drove from a city into, I believe, Florence, and then like we got off the bus and we didn't even get into our hotel or anything, and then we just explored the city, but we had like a quick tour of the city, and it was like I didn't like that, because like me, when I travel, when I go out, I like to look cute. I was sleeping in the bus, so you know, your mouth, I was like, ugh. I would like to explore the city showered, well dressed, looking good, smelling good. That's me. But we didn't have a chance to do that because we spent so much time on the bus, so we had to go. And that's another thing. They may say you have so much to do, but honestly, like, it all depends on what the traffic in the city, like what time the bus is there. And you know, it just depends on a lot. Like, that's why we had a day sheet every day, because every single day it was like a different sort of story. I thought it was cheaper, but coming to and doing more research after the fact and talking to some people on the trip, like, it's actually cheaper if you travel alone. But I came into the trip expecting that like for every place that we go, there's going to be somebody to lead us and guide us and to show us like the city and stuff like that. Well, it wasn't that way at all. For example, when we went to Paris or to Rome, Amsterdam, it was basically like, here's the direction to the train station. You could buy a daily pass and explore the city on your own. It's better that you come research and like you know exactly which places in Paris you want to go to, which places in Rome you want to go to, because other than that, like, you may end up not seeing a lot. You may end up being discouraged because you may not know exactly where to go to. I did make a couple of friends there. I even made friends with people who I still contact on social media today. I even made some friends where I honestly would love to travel with them again. Okay, just to give you guys a reality check, when you go on this trip, there may be people that you don't get along with, and there's gonna be people you do get along with, and you're spending 2 weeks with them. So like, leave any petty drama, any petty stuff behind. Don't fight with people, because at the end of the day, like, yeah, we're all young and stuff, we're all having fun, but you don't know people, okay? Like, if you ever watch the news and stuff like that, you literally don't know people. You don't know these people you're rolling with. So I would say, like, just respect everybody, but don't fight with nobody. Like, some people had petty dramas and stuff, and I'm like, it's not worth it. Like, if somebody does something or says something to annoy me, I'm just gonna like just brush it to the side and like just like keep my distance. Don't argue, don't do any of these things, because like you're literally spending 2 weeks with these people, and if you're a very introverted person, I believe you can still find a friend on this trip. You can still find somebody that you click with. Please don't force friends. Like, don't force to get along with people. If you don't get along with them, you don't get along with them. I mean, I got along with people on the trip, and I also made a lot of friends in the specific cities. Like, I met people in Italy who I still speak to today on my social media accounts. So it's not just people I met on the bus on the trip. It's very, very rare that you may not make no friends at all, or may not get along with somebody at all. Don't be hard on yourself. Make friends. And you know what? If you don't have no friends, just text me on YouTube. My first night I came into London, I was really upset because I think it's because of like the time zones or whatever. I actually arrived like a day earlier, and I actually had to pay a night to stay. And you know, the person who was managing my trip and like organizing everything for me from Contiki, she didn't really explain that to me, so I was kind of upset, but I let it go and I let it to the side, just like brush it off. I was like, you know, I'm in Europe, I'm gonna have a good time. This video, I hope you guys like it. Like I said, if you want a part 2 to this video, just comment down below. Get this video to 50 likes and I'm gonna make a part 2, and I'm gonna make also a video on tips. So comment down below, tell me if you like it. Like, comment, and subscribe. Bye!